You're over 50 and you've noticed yourself starting to slouch. You don't like it, but what can you do to correct it? That's exactly what we'll cover in this video. First, let's talk about why does posture worsen after 50? By and large, it's just an accumulation of bad habits. If you're used to sitting for long periods of time, you basically take the shape of a chair, which means your knees don't bend more than 90 degrees. Your hips can't bend more than 90 degrees. And if you have a table in front of you that you're typing over or you're doing something over, you're writing, then your lower back rounds. You basically take the shape of the postures you habitually do. It's nothing more than habit. It's not due to aging. It's just that when you're older, you spent more time alive, therefore you spent more time seated in bad positions. These bad positions cause reason number 2, which is muscular imbalances. Every muscle comes in a pair. It's called an agonist and an antagonist. For example, if you're working the chest, the agonist is the chest, the antagonist is the back. The opposite is true if you're working the back. The back becomes the agonist and the chest is the antagonist. However, in a seated posture, the chest works, the abdominals work a lot more than the back side of the body. So that creates an imbalance between front and back. A bad posture is not purely aesthetic. There are health consequences to a bad posture. There are 4 major dangers to bad posture. One huge danger to bad posture is a higher risk of falling. In one study, they found that there is a 40 to 50% higher risk of falling in older individuals with bad posture. Not only that, a lot of people over 50 often complain that they are tired all the time. That is often because of a reduced lung capacity. Part of that is due to a loss of cardiovascular endurance, but also due to bad posture. If you are slouching, you are compressing your lungs and therefore they can't expand all the way. You can't fully oxygenate the lungs and therefore the blood. One study showed that people with a slouched posture have 20 to 25% less lung capacity compared to those with an upright posture. In addition to that, another danger of poor posture is pain in the neck, lower back, and even headaches and migraines. And the last, this one is more aesthetic, but the last danger is looking older than you actually are. So how do you fix bad posture? Posture correction is really a 2-part approach. It's partially habit, partially conditioning. Let's talk about the conditioning side of things first. When posture is bad, it means certain muscles are weak and other muscles are tight. What you need to do is you need to strengthen what is weak and stretch what is tight. So what should you strengthen? Generally speaking, the muscles on the back need to be strengthened. Those are the muscles between the shoulder blades, the glutes, the lower back. And the way you strengthen them, there are many different exercises for them, but one exercise for the mid-back is called seated rows, where you sit down and you pull a cable towards the bottom of your stomach. Another great exercise for your mid to lower mid-back is called wall slides or angels. You put your back against the wall with 3 points of contact: the back of your head, your upper back, and your butt, and your elbows or your forearms slide along the wall like you're an angel. In addition to that, you need to stretch what is tight. Typically, what is tight are the chest muscles, the abdominal muscles, and the hip flexors. All 3 need to be stretched. There are many different stretches for them, but one great stretch for the chest is to put your elbow on the inside of a door and then push your shoulder out, rotate away from that. One great exercise for the abdominals is the upward dog, and you're looking upwards while trying to get the hips to the ground. And a stretch for the hip flexors is the lunge. Now, the devil is in the details. You need to lunge properly. You need to stretch everything properly, but what does proper mean? With the right duration, the right number of sets, and the right frequency. So what is that recipe of stretching? Very often, stretches or prescriptions for stretches are based on pure duration, number of seconds. However, time is arbitrary. 2 people can stretch for the same duration and yet experience different changes. And so to make it more personalized, it's better to stretch based on breathing patterns. Rather than saying stretch a certain amount of time, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, etc., I like to say stretch for 5 to 10 slow breaths. Now, don't change your breathing. Don't start suddenly inhaling through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. However, try to especially lengthen the exhales. Don't deepen them, just slow them down. So again, 5 to 10 breaths times 3 sets, once or twice a day. Fortunately, it's not something you need to do forever. Progress requires a lot more work, a lot more time than maintenance. Once you've corrected bad posture, you don't need to do the same frequency. You might go down to that stretch once a week instead of 3 times a day. So again, as we talked about earlier, fixing bad posture is about 2 things. One is conditioning, the other one is habit. We've discussed the conditioning side of things. Now let's talk about the habit. It's important to have good posture on a reflexive level. Posture is something that you don't think about. If you have to think about it, you're going to, as soon as you lose your focus, you're going to lose your attention and therefore your posture. So it's important to have it on a reflexive level. The way you do that is by into your phone, putting in hourly reminders to correct your posture. And again, you might only hold it for 30 seconds to 2 minutes before the next shiny object runs in front of you and you forget about it. But it's important to keep doing that every hour until it's ingrained. After about 3 to 6 months, you start to reduce the frequency. Instead of hourly reminders, try every other hour for about a month. If that's still working, every 3rd hour, every 4th hour, until you're doing it once a day and eventually not at all. So that is how you build good posture, but also how you maintain good posture. Again, I want to emphasize progress requires a lot less work than maintenance. If it took you, let's say, 30, 20 minutes a day to build good posture, it takes a lot less than that to maintain good posture, maybe 2 minutes a day, and the frequency is a lot lower as well. If you like this information, I have lots more information just like this in an exclusive newsletter for people who saw my videos on YouTube. If you click on the link in the description below, that'll take you to a page where you can subscribe to our newsletter, and you always have the option of unsubscribing. One effect of poor posture, besides all the ones we've talked about, is a protruding belly. But that's just one reason. Another reason for protruding belly is just excess body fat. If you want to know the best fat loss solution for people over 50, click on this video right here.